Hola mi gente bonita, bienvenidos a Aromas de mi Tierra. Hoy estamos celebrando el Día de la Madre, entonces mi invitado de hoy es el que va a cocinar. Yo solo voy a filmarlo. Él quiere hacer algo especial para todas las madres, para que la pasemos bien, y esta receta es muy deliciosa y les voy a presentar a mi invitado de hoy.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Es mi hijo Jason. A él le encanta la cocina también. Él es un poquito más chef que cocinero. Yo soy cocinera, él es chef. Entonces, yo voy a tomar la cámara y él es el que va a cocinar para nosotras. Así que prepárense y aquí vamos a empezar.
Alright, what's up, guys? So we're gonna make mac and cheese today. This is my recipe that I've been perfecting for a couple years now. It's taken a while just to get everything right. So we're gonna start with these breadcrumbs. This is very important. It's up to you on what you want to put in, but my personal favorite thing to do is I like to add bacon, these breadcrumbs, these butter, Parmesan cheese, thyme, cayenne pepper, and garlic powder. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna get started with is this bacon. We're gonna chop it up pretty fine, just so it can cook pretty fast and go on top. You're going for kind of small pieces, little strips. Alright, guys, so now that we have our bacon chopped up into small pieces, we're just going to take the pan now. Alright, I have my pan on low heat right now. You just want to get it started. Alright, so I'm just put it in. You don't want to start too hot because it's going to burn really quickly before you can get it nice and crispy. Alright, now that this is going, starting to get hot, you can put your heat up a little bit higher just so it can start getting crispy. Alright, so you don't want to go high because then it's just going to burn. Alright, our bacon's ready. It's going to continue to cook in the oven a little bit, so you just want it a little bit less than you think, but depending on how crispy you like your bacon, you can just take it out whenever. Alright, and then you're going to drain this fat because we have our butter that's going to go in. We're going to get into our ingredients for breadcrumbs. So I just have some Parmesan cheese that I'm going to grate. We're going to take this thyme and we're just going to strip it off. You just want the leaves, you don't really want these stems, right? So we're just going to get to that. You want a fine setting for the cheese. So remember, for this video, all the ingredients and their measurements are just going to be linked in the description, so make sure to go check that out, because we're just going to be throwing stuff in and I'm just going to show you how to make it. Alright, let's get our thyme in here. Alright, you just want motions. On some of the leaves you can just kind of go down, get the ends, but on some of them you just got to pick them off. Right? It's pretty simple. This adds great flavor into the breadcrumbs. It's going to add an amazing color as well, just for that contrast. Alright, so we have our pan on about medium heat, right? It's not quite there yet, but we're just going to put our butter in just so they can start going slowly. Just going to let that melt. It's melted. You just drop in your breadcrumbs. Get that going. Mix it up, just make sure it's evenly distributed between the butter and the breadcrumbs. Spread it out evenly on the bottom. You don't want it to pile because I don't want it browning faster than other parts. Alright, so just to make my life easy and make yours easier, just have your utensils ready. Alright, I have my water right here. I'm actually going to get that going right now. You want to get that pretty high. Let's get that high. You want to salt your water beforehand. Alright, so when you're salting your water, there's a saying, you want your water to taste as salty as the sea. And you need a good amount, because not all that salt is going to stick to your pasta. So just don't be afraid. Alright, so here, our breadcrumbs are nice and brown. Not all of them look brown, but it's going to go in the oven like I said, so you'll be fine. Right, we're just going to transfer this. You can turn off the heat. We're going to come over. This is just gonna go in with the Parmesan and the thyme. Alright, so we're gonna get our bacon and this mixture, right? So we just let it drain, like I said. Let me get this going. Alright, now we're gonna give it, all we need is just a little bit of cayenne, and we have garlic powder. Alright, we don't need too much, just a little bit. With the cayenne, we just need a little bit as well, depending on how much you want. Okay. Let's continue to mix that. This is gonna be really delicious on top of the mac and cheese. So, with this recipe, you can use any types of cheeses that you like, but these are my personal favorite, and I feel like these have the best combination in flavor, right? So, what we're gonna start with is, we have an aged Gouda. This is about 2 years. This is a very young Havarti, very creamy, and it's gonna lend towards meltiness in our cheese sauce. This is smoked Gouda, so just like this, but this isn't aged like this is. This is very young, and it's gonna have a creamy flavor. We have our aged cheddar. This is gonna be really nice in our cheese sauce, and then for that sharpness, we have a little bit of Parmesan. All right, this is our Havarti cheese. We're gonna shred all of this, but we're gonna save half of it, because half of this is gonna end up going in with the noodles and the cheese sauce already mixed in, and I'll speak more on that when I come to it. We're just gonna get shredding. You want a larger grate, just so it's a little bit easier. I like to rotate as I shred. So this is our aged Gouda. We're just gonna keep shredding this. And when you're buying aged Gouda, you're gonna see this rind. You don't really want that in your cheese. Some cheeses it's okay, but with this is wax, so you don't really want that. So make sure you can just throw that away. We're gonna go with our Parmesan again. Like before, you want a finer grate on this, because it's a little bit more aged. Alright, this is our sharp cheddar. Back on the big grates. And with your cheeses, try to get blocks of your cheese, because if you get them pre-shredded, they have this little coating of like cornstarch on the outside, and it doesn't yield the same meltiness as these do. And these have a little bit more flavor that I found. This is our smoked Gouda. Now the same thing with this. We're only gonna use half of this in the actual cheese sauce. So you can shred the whole thing, but put half of it to the side. This is my personal favorite cheese. Put our pasta in. It's about boiling. It doesn't have to be too much, but we're just gonna go in. This is about a pound of pasta, 1 box worth. And just make sure you mix it in, just so it doesn't stick. So do not use olive oil whenever you're putting your pasta in. It's not needed. You know what I mean? Just throw it in and just mix it. We're using farfalle pasta. I usually use, it's called cavatappi. It's a little swirls. And you can use any types of pasta you want, but it's just up to your preference. This pasta, just look at your box directions on how to cook the pasta, but Cook it about 1.5 minutes less than it says because you want it al dente, just because it's going to continue to cook in the oven. Alright, so we have this at about medium heat. We're going to throw in our butter, right? For this, try to find a good quality butter. I like Kerrygold. It yields the best, but you don't want to use margarine. Just let that melt. Alright, our butter is melted. We're going to add our flour. Right. You're going to whisk. You're going to cook this for about 1 minute, just to get rid of that flour taste. This is very important. Alright, this is good. Now, we're gonna add our milk, little by little. Just add a little bit just to start. We want to whisk, just to combine. Alright, once that's smooth, let's go in with the rest of your milk. Just let that come to the boil. This is thick enough. It's been about just like 5 minutes. We're just gonna add little by little. And my heat is off. We're just looking for these cheeses to combine. And with the rest of the cheese. It is okay if the cheeses aren't fully melted right now. They're going to continue to melt in the oven. So just don't worry about that. It's nice and cheesy though. So just let your pasta sit right there, right? You don't want it to cook anymore if you want. I already splashed some cold water over there just to shock it. Just leave it there while we do the rest of our things. Just adding the pasta to the cast iron pan. You can use whatever pan you have. Just make sure it's oven safe. Now we have our cheese. We're gonna add this. All of it. We're gonna incorporate this. Make sure all of the pasta is coated. You get a good even mix. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so that cheese that we mentioned earlier, we're going to sprinkle it on just a little bit. Top. On top, the best part, the breadcrumbs. Now it's gonna go in the oven, 400 degrees, 12 to 18 minutes. Those bubbles, and I know it's crispy. All right, this is my mac and cheese. Looks amazing. See that crunchy topping, and I know it's gonna be really creamy. Let's go in. Ooh. Incredibly creamy, really cheesy. Alright, this is the moment I've been waiting for the whole time. Looks amazing. Let me go ahead and try it. I can taste the cheeses, smoked Gouda, the cheddar, the Havarti, the Parmesan, the crunchy topping. It's amazing. The smokiness of the bacon really complements everything. This is the reason I've been working on this for so long, just to make it taste like this. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Adios.